Well, damn, I lost 100 pounds. Now what? That means I get to go back to eating like crap and whatever I want and whenever I want and how much I want, right? No, it's time for new goals. Welcome back to Former Fat Guy Fitness. I'm Tyler, your former fat guy. Like I said in my very first video, a year ago, I weighed 255 pounds, I smoked 2 packs a day, I drank too much, and was just unhealthy overall. Since that time, I've lost a crap ton of weight, I've quit smoking and drinking altogether, and I've learned more about health in the last year than I did in my first 29 years of life. But one thing most people struggle to do with once they've accomplished something like this is to keep the weight off and maintain the changes that they've made. So in today's video, I'm going to go over how I've kept the fat off, how I'm going to keep it off, the changes I've made to my diet, the changes I've made to my workouts, and my future fitness goals that I'm working towards that I'll show you on this channel. Now, by the time I got down to 155 pounds, I was pretty proud of the progress I had made, but I wasn't where I wanted to be yet, and that's to be expected, only being 1 year into my weight loss and workout routine. However, after being in the steep calorie deficit that I described in my last video, there was some changes that I wanted to make. The first of which being is I wanted to find out what my true maintenance calories were. After all, we as humans are walking, talking science experiments, and our estimates of maintenance calories are just that, estimates. Thankfully, I had defatted enough fat from my ass, it was time to start adding calories back into my diet. So I started by adding the 500 calorie deficit that I was in back into my diet, which took me from 1900 calories per day up to 2400 per day. Now, I expected this to be enough to keep me at maintenance and allow me to maintain my weight, but after a couple weeks, I actually lost a couple more pounds, and I really didn't like how much smaller I was getting. That's when the idea for me switched from maintaining my weight to doing the lean bulk that I'm on now, so I can start adding more muscle mass into me, and so I could get my testosterone and energy levels back to normal. So at this point, I added 400 more calories back into my diet. That took me from 24 to 2800 calories per day. Within 3 weeks, I noticed my energy levels were coming back, my workouts were getting better, I was hitting PRs again. Thankfully, my libido returned and my sleep had improved greatly. During the last 14 weeks of playing around and experimenting with my calories, I've learned that my maintenance level is right around 2500 depending on my activity level for that given week. I've learned this by continuing to track my calories, by eating a consistent diet, watching my average steps with my Fitbit, and checking my weight every single morning. Now, if you yourself get down to a weight that you're happy with, you don't need to continue the steps of, counting your calories or checking your weight in the morning every single morning, but I will very likely be counting my calories until the day I die. This is simply because I'm an overeater and counting my calories keeps me accountable to myself. That and counting calories has been the only reliable way I have lost the fat and the only reliable way I've kept it off. So it's something I'll be sticking with just from here on out. With that being said, another way I'm planning to keep the weight off is by creating new fitness goals for myself. The first of which being to get more athletic and more swole-lier, if that's a word. In order to reach this goal, the steps in the diet are pretty similar to that of my weight loss. Just this time around, I'm looking at different numbers. Instead of keeping myself under a certain caloric threshold and try to keep myself in a deficit, I'm now trying to keep myself in a small surplus right around 26 to 2800 calories a day. I'm keeping the surplus small and avoiding a dirty bulk because I just spent a year shedding fat off my body, and I'm not trying to go back to the former fat guy anytime soon, or ever, as a matter of fact. When it comes to the diet portion of my goals and what I'm eating regularly, I'm still focused on protein. I still focus on getting 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight every single day. But in reality, I actually eat closer to 1.5 or 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight a day, just because I enjoy protein-based foods and of how much more satiating it is. There are 2 numbers, though, that I'm tracking much more closely ever since I've started the bulk. 1, my fat intake. 2, my fiber intake. I'm watching my fat intake because I know how important it is for hormone and energy levels, and fat does help you stay satiated. So my goal right now is to get 25% of my calories on a daily basis from fat, which comes out to about 75 grams of fat a day. When it comes to fiber, I have a minimum of 35 grams of fiber every single day that I have to hit, but in reality, I get closer to 60 grams of fiber a day. This is for a few reasons, but mainly 2. The first being one that I've said before, and I will say again. Fiber helps keep us satiated and full, and for us former fat guys like myself, that is one of the most important things and my personal biggest struggle being an overeater. Number 2 is something I learned from Dr. Lane Norton on the Huberman Lab podcast, which once again, is the best podcast on the internet. Please go check it out. But according to the science, there is no upper limit for fiber. And fiber is one of the most important things for human longevity and human lifespan. So since it keeps me full and it helps me live longer, I intentionally go out of my way every day to make sure I get enough fiber. Much like the diet, my workout, it's only changed slightly. I still have a dedicated push workout and pull workout that I do twice a week. I do these on an every other day basis right now to give myself 48 hours in between each lift, much like I described in my mistakes video. But in between each day of lifting, I've replaced the standard leg day you see most guys do in the gym with ATG mobility training from knees over toes guy. This is because, like I said in my first video, I've blown out both my knees. One in high school football, one in skiing. Because of this, I have had constant knee pain and problems ever since because I didn't do the rehab like I was supposed to after having surgery on each knee. Even when I switched from running to walking, knee pain is something I consistently have to fight with. Now, does this mean don't work out or don't do cardio? No, it just means find ways to work around it and find ways to fix it. So I'm currently doing the Knee Ability Zero program from ATG Online Coaching. No, I'm not sponsored. I just wanted to share the program that I'm using to try to address my knee problems and how I'm trying to get more athletic. Along with the push-pull workouts and the ATG training, I'm also focused on getting 120 minutes of cardio in every single week. Right now, while I contend with the snow, I just end my workouts by jumping rope in my garage for 20 to 30 minutes at the end of each workout. But if the weather's nice enough, I'll end my workouts with a quick 3-mile jog, just focused on keeping my heart rate elevated and not necessarily the speed of the jog. I do this cardio not only because of the health benefits of that, there are plenty of them, but also because someday I would like to run a marathon. Well, that's more of a goal in the long term and not something I see myself doing in the short term. In the short term, I would more so like to focus on my ATG training and getting my knee pain fixed. Once I've addressed that, then I'll put some more focus into marathon training. One small goal I have in the next couple months is to actually get my biomarkers checked using Inside Tracker. If you've seen this channel at all, you know I'm a major advocate for former fat guys using things like artificial sweeteners, diet sodas, and processed foods like Velveeta cheese. This has obviously led to comments and health nuts declaring, "Oh Lordy Jesus, that's so bad for you." Well, I would love to see how bad they really are for me and just how healthy in general I am since I've lost the weight, made the changes that I have, and eat the diet that I do. So you'll very likely see a video from me in the coming months of my experiences getting my biomarkers checked and implementing any changes to my diet if it recommends me to do so. So here's hoping that it doesn't recommend me getting off of the sweeteners, because I don't know if I'm willing to do that. But I would also love to tell those same health nuts, na boo boo, I'm healthier than you. So let me know in the comments below if that's a video you'd like to see in the near future. Now, the last goal I have for this video is one that a lot of people have for their fitness goals, and that is to get shredded one time. Well, I did get to a decently low body fat percentage in the last year, enough so to where I could see abs, I could see lower ab veins, and I still can. I still wouldn't call that shredded. I do know I have to contend with every former fat guy's worst enemy of loose skin, but I think I can get to a low enough body fat percentage that I could compensate for that to still get cut. So my plan is to stay on my current lean bulk that I'm doing until the end of late winter or early spring, and then at that point, I'm going to go on a very slow weight cut. I have no intention of doing the crash diet that I originally did, and I think with the experience that I've gained over the last year, I'll be much better suited for losing weight to the point I could call myself shredded. Not to mention, I'll be able to actively show you guys the process of losing the weight, what I'm eating, what my workouts are, instead of just telling you what I did at the end of the process like I'm doing right now. So what about you guys? What are some of your short-term and long-term health goals that you want to achieve? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see if I'm successful achieving these goals or you want to help the channel out, hit the subscribe button below and hit the like button for the algorithm. But in the meantime, thanks for watching.